For this episode, we are graced once again with the presence of Stephanie O'Hare and Murphy Rader. Special treat, we found the best of misconnections, and it is a list of, well, we'll talk about it. You listen and you'll find out, But this is the very beginning of that, and every episode to come, we're just going down that list and reading the very best of misconnections, giving that our own interpretations. Are they all the best? I left them in there. They're all there for you to judge. But this is the time in which I get to let you know a little bit more about the episode, what to expect, some disclaimers. We're never, and we probably will never be ready or set up for multiple guests. So we did have a microphone just plopped onto a coffee table between Stephanie and Emily, and you can hear a lot of typing and drinks being set on the table. But that's okay. It's fine. It's gritty. It's real. And that's why I figured it was time to post this, because as everyone's getting ready to go back into some semblance of normal, whatever that might be at this point, conversations are going to be had in person again. And if you're still uncomfortable with that, I know I am. I don't even know when planes are going to be a thing that I'm okay with, then this is for you, just listen to a bunch of people hanging out, talking about movies, shows they've seen, which brings me to the point. This episode was recorded over a year ago when everything was kicking off. And at the time, the information is no longer accurate, but I believe that the feelings are still true. So I kept a lot of that. These are heavily edited, and it's made not to I try not to let my guest sound too much like an ass, but it's very difficult. Also, there is some valuable information on how to pick fruit and the wonders of eating fruit in shower. You get to hear Murphy go into extremely painful detail about that. So recently, Suki, my dog, and I, we took a road trip down to Arizona, and my God, was it the most stressful thing. You add a pandemic on top of that, and then you're driving and you're trying to stay awake, and I took an energy drink, I think somewhere around Eugene, Oregon. I stopped at a gas station and I picked up a Bang, not to name any specific energy drinks, but it was the most horrific thing I have ever had, not in the sense of taste, but just the experience, because I'm sitting there and my heart is palpitating, and I'm not using the energy that it's just injecting into my system, and you can feel the liquid just punching your heart the entire time. So you panic, you have a panic attack. Well, you have 12 hours to go trying to get to Sacramento. There are semi-trucks swerving in and out of lanes because these people are high on PCP or some other kind of speed to keep them awake. And you're like, nah, I'm not going to drive behind this goddamn logging truck where everything's just staring at me. I've seen Final Destination. I know what happens. So you go faster than you mean to, and you're on a mountain pass, and suddenly it's getting dark, and you start to notice that there is snow everywhere, and then the panic attack just kicks in even more. Every little thing sets you off, and you haven't gotten your car maintenanced in a long time, and you're like, my God, why did I set off on this 2-day trip alone with just a dog who can't call anyone if something happens? And meanwhile, your sister's texting you because you're headed to her place to watch her dogs, and she's like, hey, is everything okay? And you're like, no, nothing's fine right now. Oh my God, is that the smell of burning rubber? Oh, I swear that's the belt. That's got to be the turpentine belt or whatever. I don't know anything about engines. It's going to catch fire. I know it. Everything. Oh, I didn't check the tire pressure. My wheels are gonna fall off, and it's just a stressful mess. And you're on Mount Shasta, and you're driving 70 miles an hour. The road starts curving. You see the snow, and you just know in your heart that there is going to be black ice on the road, and you're going to swerve. So you slow down, but then all of a sudden there's a semi-truck behind you, and you're reminded by the signs on the side of the road that say emergency pull-out exits, and you're like, God damn it, at any given moment that guy's brakes are going to give out. So you trudge on, and you keep looking at all the next rest stop signs, and you try to calculate it, but like your mind is racing, and you're like, there's no way that this digital dashboard is accurate on the gas gauge. Luckily, you're rolling downhill. So I get out of the mountain pass, I get into California, and like semi-leveled land, and I'm like, I'm gonna make it to where was I headed? Sacramento? It must have been the Sac. Well, California's a big-ass state, you know? You get to the border, and it's another 5 hours till you get to the main metropolitan area. So you're like, fuck it, I'm going to stop in Redding or whatever the hell's up there. And your sister calls you, and she's like, hey, man, rest. Take your time. And if this place is anything than ideal, like if you get a bad vibe, because my plan was to stay at a Motel 6 in Sacramento, and I was like, no, fuck it, I'm just going to stay at a Motel 6 here in this Redding town or whatever. And she's like, look, if it's seedy, don't stay. And I was like, yeah, no, of course, that's the best part. Like, it's just me. I get to decide for myself, right? No big deal. So I show up at this motel, and there's just a shit ton of cops outside the entire while that I'm checking in. And I was like, oh my God, I am way too tired to look for anything else. I'm just going to go with it. So you pay the woman, you get a key, you drive around the back, and then there's just way too many people at this motel for it to be okay. Oh, that's the other thing. You choose to drive because you figure I have way more control over the world around me. I get to sit in my own little cabin. I don't have to share the air with a bunch of foreign people from different cities and lands. It's got to be the safest bet. You didn't account for your goddamn mind, did you? Did you? So, energy drinks, especially that one, is like 4 monsters. You're going to die. And you're like, what? Get out of your head. Oh my God, I'm at that age where I'm just like talking through burps. I apologize. So I dunk my head into the goddamn motel sink, and this is the first time I've been anywhere outside of my home for a long, long time, headed to one of the epicenters of the pandemic, Arizona, and I'm freaking out. And then the walls are paper thin at this motel, and there are so many guests, and everything's muffled. You can't make out any words, and you're freaking out in your own bed, and you're trying to relax, but you can't, and you end up getting 3 hours of sleep anyway. So on the way back, I stayed. I'd never done it before, but my plan was to just sleep at a rest stop. I figured if I'm going to be sleeping for like 3 to 5 hours at all, I'm not going to pay for that. So I bought a big-ass knife at a gas station. I got a big, heavy blanket. I had my dog with me, so she was on alert. And I did. This is a fun fact. It is legal to park up to 8 hours at a rest stop in the entire state of California, which implies that it is illegal in other states. I didn't know that. Luckily, I got the confirmation when I Googled it, and I was like, oh, sweet, I'm just going to sleep here. And I was a little nervous about it, but it's totally fine. Everyone who comes through a rest stop is traveling and tired as fuck anyway. And one thing I didn't account for was that my hands got sunburnt because I kept them on the steering wheel in direct sunlight for like 16 hours at a time. Either way, they were chapped, and they were the oldest I've ever seen my hands look. And I was like, that's it, I've aged. This is what I look like now, and I just needed to moisturize. But that's the news. All right, anyway, please help me. I mean, there's not much you can do about it, but just welcome our guests. Play the guitar.
Yes, we were late because...
Oh, you don't have to explain it.
Well, no. We were late because I was working on a voice project. I was contacted by a gentleman... Well, I contacted a gentleman on Reddit who needed a script read for a video that he was making. And it was just a PowerPoint. He's going to put my voice into the video professionally.
Good.
But he said, yeah, I just send you a script, and he said I have like pacing and stuff that I need you to do, and blah blah blah. And so he said, I can pay you $100, and I was like, great, that's that's, 7-minute script. Cool. And so I agreed. Turns out that the script needed to be timed exactly. So I needed to record all my lines. I needed to say very, very big medical and technical words in this script. So I had to go back many times and redo and take a bunch of takes. Also, he requested that it be done in 4 hours. And I very, very grossly underestimated as to how much time it would take. After I got into it and doing it, I told him, I can probably get this done in 2 hours.
No.
Probably took me a total of 6.
But you did have it recorded.
I had everything. Yeah,
in 3 hours.
I could have sent him a unpolished product, very unpolished product, but it would have just been. I would have felt bad about it. And then I was like, oh shoot! I had 20 minutes, till it was 1:00 midnight for him, and he needed to. I was like, shoot, okay. So I pull out my phone to message him, Skype him, and I was gonna be like, hey,
you
look.
Just immediately refunded him on Venmo. You're like, I can't.
Here's your money back.
hey, count me out.
So I was gonna tell him hey, look, I'm really sorry. I can get you a product, but it won't be polished. It won't sound the best. It'll just kind of be some raw audio with very loosely timed, And I open it up, and it says, "Hey, the deadline got pushed a day, so we can." And I was like, "Yes!"
He was out. I was in the living room, and I hear him go, "Oh, yes! Oh, okay, woo!" I'm like, wow, did you get it done, or everything okay?
So, yeah, and got it done shortly before we came over here, and yeah, I'm stoked. I love it. It's great.
Congratulations!
Oh, thank you.
Because with writing, you're not a writer until you're paid to write, and you've been paid to do some voiceover work.
I've been paid to voice, and it feels good.
Huzzah to you, Murphy! Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, capital.
Yeah, that's right. Just Sunday.
to Sunday Fun Day.
So, Stephanie's here. She's drinking water, and you had mentioned that you'd gotten white girl wasted the night before. I feel like there's something behind
I
that.
did not. I was drunk indeed.
The end.
No, I had a friend who her birthday was Friday.
She doesn't have friends.
Well, duh.
And then we went over to King's Hardware, and so I had
Bought some hammers. What is King's Hardware?
King's Hardware. It's a bar.
Okay,
Ballard.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure as to history as to why it's called King's Hardware, but it's called King's Hardware, and it's a bar.
And we had several things to drink.
There's an island across from Lincoln Park. I think it's called Vashon Island. There's a breakfast place we've been meaning to go called the Hardware Store, I think, as well. But it's like a diner.
Oh.
So there's a lot of places here. There was one in White Center where we used to live called the Company Store that was a bar as well.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone would talk about it in the neighborhood. Have you been to the Company Store? Oh, we were hanging out at the Company Store. But they never mentioned drinking or anything. So I was just convinced that it was like a hop-in, Office Depot kind of thing. Maybe they had a cafe in there. I don't know.
Hop-in big box store.
A Container Store. Have you been there?
I've been there
You
once.
want to talk about a good time?
I've been there once with Stephanie. I don't know if I ever want to go back.
I've actually never been.
I could not.
I've only seen the windows. You got me this really fun box. It was like a Russian doll.
It was a really fun container.
Could you contain your excitement about it?
So
only for so long, because if you want to say
what was it even for?
it was for
birthday?
Christmas birthday.
Whatever.
Christmas birthday.
Well, my birthday's Christmas Eve.
Christmas Day.
So it was like this box that was about, I don't know, 4 inches by 4 inches, and you open it, there's a smaller box inside, you open it, there's a smaller box inside, you open it, there's a smaller box, it kept going,
And it never stopped.
Got
it's about an inch. And I open it, it's this tiny nub of a cactus on the inside.
Little bud cactus.
Yeah.
Baby cake.
That was one of many cactuses that she gave me for Christmas. The first one was in a paper bag, and excitedly to get a gift, I reached in.
Oh.
I fully intended to warn you not to open it thusly, but Michelle came into our office and started talking to me, and then you were screaming. So
You were like, actually, no, I'm not going to tell him anything.
Yeah, I want to see this place.
I want to see how much he bleeds.
So the last time you guys were here, you guys were playing with the idea of either commandeering or getting your own dog. Did that happen?
No. I still go back to work regularly.
yucky.
Yeah. Are you, Emily, are you still?
I go 2 days a week.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I am newly jobless.
Yes.
Since it feels very strange, it's great for the I don't know. I mean, I know I'm hesitating and stuttering and it's like I don't know how to feel about it because the world is in such a state that it's terrifying and like you worry about things happening, but at the same time it's like now is the moment to like really go out and do stuff because everything is so remote, and it was being home that I realized, oh, like I can do this. I can work from here and it's great, and I've been here and it's nice, and it just got to a point where it was this continuous bullshit, and I was like, I'm done. I've saved enough money. I don't need to be there, and I quit. And like everyone was super understanding. They're like, no, I get it, because that industry is not doing well.
Oh, I get it. This job's bullshit.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thanks for warning us. And
You're making the right move here, man.
good luck. Where are you going? And it was a lot of that. And I was
Nowhere.
like, no, I'm just taking a break. I sound the same when I'm at my job. And all you do is mimic people. So, oh my God. And then I gave 2 weeks. So in those 2 weeks, it just became like this guilt trip that everyone is like, oh, like it was all indirect. We would have meetings and they're like, yeah, we have this coming up. We got to work on this and we got to figure out how to work on this now that he's leaving. And I had to set up this whole live stream thing for them just so they could show their products virtually, because there's no hope of them having people come over anymore to like showcase anything. And they were pissed off because they were using webcams and they're like, it looks like shit. So we put this whole thing together and we showed the owner of the company, and he was excited, and he was like, as soon as the picture came up, he's like, yep, that's exactly what I want. That's great. All right, can you guys have it running at 2 p.m.? And I was going to leave early that day. I was like, I'm going to do this demo at like 8 in the morning, which he canceled for, and then we pushed it to 11. And I was like, I'm going to leave. And then I was like, nope. And then I had to do like several meetings to show this stuff off. And I had a moment where I was like, oh shit, like this is going well and they love it. And like, did I make a mistake? It's like, I could keep doing this. And then I had to work with a guy, and I was reminded, yeah, this is, yeah, I don't have to deal with that anymore.
you were reminded that they need you more than you need them.
You were reminded of all the forced group projects that you had to do in middle school and high school. That you were like, this is stupid. Nobody has to work with people in the real world that you don't like. Huh. Your teacher might have been right.
Mrs. Smith was wrong.
And I've been talking to my sister a lot about it. She's been like, because she quit her job recently too. And then my dad calls me, and that's not important. He called her. He called my he called my sister about it, and kind of like scolded her. She's the oldest, so she gets in trouble for everything me and my younger sister do. Yeah. And he basically told her, like, why would you get your brother excited and why not me, huh? Like, I want to quit my job too. Why can't you convince me to do it? But anyway, I'm talking to her, and she's been like really looking at the numbers of what's going on with unemployment and all this, and she's like, unemployment's been the highest it's ever been, and this is gonna sound insensitive, but I believe it's because people just don't want to go back to work now. Like a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people are making more off of unemployment than they did at their regular jobs. And it's like, how shitty is it that you have to quit to get a raise? And it's been relieving. It really has. Like the first weekend, it was a little strange, and I was going through this thing that I did research on, and I was like, okay, have you ever like felt like you're kind of underwater and you're in a daze and nothing feels real? Dissociating everything.
Drunk.
So not like
not drunk,
not happy.
You're not like, you don't have a limited euphoria. You just have, you're like on autopilot and you're just going and everything's coming at you.
I've had a few days or like moments in days.
Like you're
that.
just watching your life happening. So I did some reading on it, and it's called, at least what I found out, this is not like any recommendation or anything. It's just an idiot trying to make sense of the world around him. Depersonalization, which is some sort of mental illness. And the biggest thing I kept reading over and over is like, don't overthink it. Stop thinking about it. What you're doing right now, researching this, stop that shit, you know? I was like, oh, shit, all right.
You're reading this paper to learn about what's wrong with you. But in order to avoid it, you need to stop reading this paper.
But it's just like caused by extreme stress, and the like suddenly being out of a job and like being reminded like you got to deal with this, and this now on your own. I was like, oh, fuck. And then Monday rolled around, and I didn't have to clock in. I didn't have to be a part of any stupid meeting.
You didn't have to wake up.
I didn't have to wake. Well, I do. I have a dog, and she keeps me on a schedule.
That's good.
So then it clicked, and I was like, "Yay, this is amazing! Oh my god, I get to do what I want." I like cleared off my desk. I have a new computer that has nothing with work on it. So like I haven't been reminded of it. An old coworker did text me. And he was like, I'm so jealous of you that you don't have to be a part of these weekly, what are you up to now meetings. Oh, God. Because there would be an email that we would send out first. And then right after we would have the meeting and talk about it. And
you talk about the email?
The email that we send about what we're doing.
Sounds like our teacher meetings, too. It's kind of just been sent in an email.
Yeah.
We had to interrupt our morning.
That sounds like a fucking Hollywood like joke, like as something that a Hollywood movie would put in as a joke.
Couldn't this be an email?
Oh my god.
So, I've lied to myself, and I've told myself we're gonna do stuff that's enriching, we're gonna like watch shows that are super engaging, I'm gonna read, I'm gonna draw, and I have been like drawing maybe 15 minutes every day of like just nothing. What?
That's all it takes. I mean, to establish a habit, do 15 minutes a day of that thing, and that's enough to establish a habit, and then that you just build off of that, and then you eventually spend more and more time because it becomes a habit. Sorry to interrupt, but
no, that's one. Yeah, I kept, so there's the book there, writer's block, and I mentioned it before, but yeah, it says the same thing, like 15 minutes. There's a lot in that, even if like you just write what you're wanting to do for 15 minutes, and it's like applicable to a lot of stuff. But in saying that, in all these things we would like to do, we've run out of our usual shows and have taken to watching Garbage TV. Ugh. This new show.
Is it
I would like to say we've watched 3 episodes. Okay, so you've like been unemployed for.
So you
like,
can
a
still
week.
be saved.
So like I don't know. You make it sound like
they're
on
like
Monday
45 minutes long,
and we skip half of it.
We've just started skipping more and more of it. There's all this like setup and bullshit.
Like on Monday you were full of hopes and dreams, and you were going to accomplish all of this, and then we turned on this show, and we've never done anything since. We've watched 3 episodes.
I'm world building here.
So what is this show?
It is a Netflix original. It is called The Floor is Lava. Have you guys watched it?
We have not watched it yet.
We saw like the little trailer thing that pops up, and me and Murph go, how do we get on that show?
Yeah. So it is
like
super frustrating to watch. Like the contestants.
Then stop.
But here's the thing. It is such a fucking ego trip, for me at least, to like watch all these people
trying.
Fucking do that.
Yeah.
They try to find the most inept people. Like, enjoying this show.
I'm just sitting here. It's like I could fucking do that. Maybe not that, but that. Oh my god. Oh, he should have. I look at Emily. He's like, he should have done this. Sitting here eating my goddamn fries.
Fries in one hand, beer in the other.
So we took a drive yesterday. There's an ice cream shop with all these signs, and we went there, and you can't order by the scoop, or it says like cones are cash only,
And then you
bowls are, or everything else is credit or whatever. Not the point. We roll up to the window. We tell the woman, can we get a single scoop of the pistachio? She says, nope, sorry, we're all out of pistachio. That guy that left took the last bit of it. And
What
So
a
you
jerk.
chased him down.
no, but
Like,
we had watched her hand over this like mountain of ice cream to the guy, and we were like, holy
Big waffle.
fuck.
That
looks
Oh my
good.
It
god,
wasn't-
like
it
that
was
is a
like-
lot
it was
of
like
ice cream.
Pistachio with what looked like a coffee ice cream or whatever,
Oh.
and then another giant scoop of pistachios. We're like, wow, that is an admirable feat for one person. Okay.
What did you think it was the man's leg at first that reached out to grab the ice cream? Like, oh my god, that's his arm.
No. So we opted for the coffee ice cream, and again I said, okay, we'll take one scoop of that, and she says $8. I was like, oh fuck, you know. It's like, well, I guess they can charge
$8
that. We're out here in the middle of
whole
nowhere.
dollars.
We pay the woman, and we wait, and she takes a good while, and she comes back with, how would you describe it?
A boat.
A boat
So
of
you know
ice
those
cream.
little things that you're supposed to put like a big hot dog in?
Yeah.
Oh
It was
yes,
that.
they're like red and white.
Just full of ice cream.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
four
well
scoops.
worth the $8.
It was $8.
It was
ice cream for
$8
sure.
worth.
I've heard that ice cream is one of the like most profitable businesses to have because for whatever reason the market for ice cream like it's just super inflated. Like you can charge so much for ice cream and you pay so little for it as a business.
I
And you
feel
can
like
just
a lot of
turn
places
around.
don't have the price right on the menu. I feel like I've been to a lot of ice cream shops where you gotta like look really hard to find the little number somewhere. I saw the $8 after we ordered. Like we put a little tiny little text.
They tried to deceive you.
Yeah. And by the time you order it, and they're like, "That'll be $16." You're like, "Shit!" Well, I had my mind set on ice cream.
Damn
I'm
it.
gonna pay
Yeah.
$16.
I gotta buy it or else it's gonna melt.
Yeah.
Yeah. The longer you sit there and think about whether you want it or not, it's more time it's just gonna fucking melt.
Well, the point being is we're better prepared, and we're definitely going back.
Oh.
It was delicious.
And I recommend it.
Okay.
But yeah, buyer be warned. Like, I just said, you get ice cream and I'll help you out. I had to help.
It was essential for you to help
Yes.
out.
Is this like a hike you go on?
No, we drove.
I don't.
Have you
It
ever? So when I was in LA, I used to buy coconuts on like once a month, just to get used to having to crack one open and like stomach the flavor.
Just in case you ever needed to survive.
I'm ever stranded on an island that only has
Has
coconuts.
to be a tropical island, but
Yeah, they grew down there.
you just carry coconuts. seeds
Just in case I
your
fell
pocket.
asleep on my floaty and I woke up and I was on an
I'd carry a cleaver. I think I had just watched Castaway too.
island.
I'm very impressionable.
It is. Damn. Tom Hanks.
Did you buy a couple of volleyballs too?
No, I got the roller skates in case I needed to be a dentist also. But then I realized it was an ice skating, like the ice skates. So
Yeah.
now I just have roller skates
Oh.
for no reason.
So practicing opening coconuts.
Hmm.
Is that all?
That was it.
Okay.
You ever done
Nice.
that for the same reason?
No, but I've seen a lot of cool videos on like how to do it. And take the cleaver and bop, bop.
We tried watching
around
some
your
on mangoes, how to cut a mango, and it says cut it like an avocado, and we're like, I don't fucking know how to do that, you know.
What? No, you can't cut it like an avocado. It doesn't separate from the pit like that. You cannot do that. I know how to cut an avocado. So you find... Sorry, mango. I also know how to cut an avocado. Of course, a lot of people do. Whatever. A mango. So here's the thing. You have to...
Do cut it like an avocado?
You do not.
No.
You do not cut a mango like an avocado. What you do, and I'm not going to even put in a disclaimer in this podcast right now. I'm going to tell you that I am an expert on this and I know exactly what I am doing. So, an avocado. I just said avocado. A mango. So a mango is very oblong shaped, right? Imagine you took an egg, right, and you squished it.
Terrible idea.
It's a terrible idea. But imagine you could squish the egg without breaking it, but you could deform it, right?
So a boiled egg.
That's essentially the shape of a mango. I almost said avocado again. That is the shape of a mango. The lengthwise shape, so that is also the shape of the pit generally inside of the mango. So you want to cut along the longest, flattest side of the pit on either sides. So you want to cut through the mango, just missing the pit on either side.
What if you nick it?
Then you
go
start over.
straight to jail.
Grab a different...
Do not collect $200.
and go straight to jail.
Mango jail.
And so you have those two pieces. The mango's now in 3 pieces, right? Because you've cut it on either side of the pit.
Oh, right. Okay.
So those 2 pieces that you've taken apart now, you take and you put it in your palm, and with a knife, you very lightly go through the meat of the mango until the tip of the blade.
Very ripe.
No.
You can't very lightly go through an unripe mango.
I thought you said ripe, if the mango's ripe. Whatever.
I said if it's not very ripe.
So
okay,
how do
well
you
then if
know
it's not ripe, you've goofed up in the first place. So
How do you know if it's ripe?
Assuming
I
that
never
you've-
knew. Is it supposed to be red or is it not supposed to be red?
it's just it's
what
soft.
kind of mangoes? Is
kind
it
of
the
like
yellow ones. Is it
you
the
know how to
bigums?
you know how to pick out ripe avocados, right?
Pull its stem off.
But what if someone's already pulled the stem off?
That's a pineapple.
What?
No, the
What?
Hold on.
Please.
Are we talking about oranges?
Oh,
we're talking about avocados
Wait,
now, aren't we?
I'm on pineapples now. Are you pulling a leaf off the pineapple, or you just
No. A leaf. So
Okay.
go for one of the center leaves in the crown of the pineapple. Wait, hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll come back to mangoes. Okay. So for a pineapple, and I can tell you about any fruit. I can tell you how to pick out any fruit. So the pineapple, to start, there's a two-step process for picking out a pineapple. The first thing you want to do is just go to each pineapple and kind of like wiggle and tug on the middle leaves of the crown, the inner middle leaves of the crown. And if they come out easily, that is a good sign that they may be ripe. If you find one that has a leaf that comes out easily of the crown, pick that pineapple up and smell its butt. Smell its bottom. And if it smells like pineapple, it is ripe and it is glorious. Take it home, cut it up, and devour it.
What if you don't know what a pineapple smells like?
Then what are you doing?
I hate you so
What
much.
are you doing?
What if you smell the bottom of the pineapple and it smells like oranges?
Yeah, what could it possibly smell like if not a pineapple?
Then you need to go home and ride out your high.
Go
Okay,
home,
sorry.
pack your bags because you are on a trip.
Sorry, if it smells sweet. If the bottom of it smells sweet, like a pineapple should.
Okay, let's go back to this mango.
Okay, now back to the mango.
I'm so sorry.
You've got the mango. That's okay.
But you can't gently, cut through an unripe mango.
You're right, but why would you try to cut an unripe mango in the first place?
I just want to split hairs
I'm just-
with
I'm just-
everything.
I'm
I just
just-
want to participate.
No, stop. No. Go for it.
So, okay, pause.
Master
Let's go
movie.
back to the beginning and let's
The beginning.
let's tell you how to pick out a ripe mango.
Oh.
Okay.
But then
What am I looking for?
So-
we're gonna go back to the beginning, but then we're gonna go back to the place that we were.
So
at.
most
That we
Gen
actually
Z
began.
Most Gen Z avocado toast loving
Are
hippies.
we on avocados?
Yeah, are we on avocados or mangoes?
Just bear with me. Bear with me. When you pick out an avocado, what do you do?
I don't know anymore. You got me guessing. All right, do I remove the little stem and then if it's green, I'll take it?
No.
Ah, fuck.
That
explains a lot why it's always a gamble. It's like Russian roulette with fruit.
You simply press on the skin of the avocado, and if it gives...
With my thumb or my nail?
Your thumb. Do not use your nail because that's gross.
Yeah, that is very gross.
Anybody else who wants that mango later.
Yeah.
Push.
It's not a mango.
Apparently,
I hate fruit.
Push on it, and if it's soft, it's ripe.
what if it's
That's-
too
But
soft?
there are definitely
Then don't buy it.
How do I know what's
Sometimes
soft enough?
If it gives as much or a little less than, say, a hard-boiled egg.
Oh, God damn it. There's so many things to think about.
Oh my God. Do you have an avocado in your kitchen right now?
No, because of that reason.
Because I don't know how to pick them up.
They're really expensive, okay?
They are.
Why are they
They
so
are
expensive up here?
Because the farther you get away from where they're grown, the more expensive they are. If
California.
you go over to the East Coast, they're like gold. They cost so much. We went over to New York and we visited our friend Andrew.
There's no
and
trees in New York.
Paige. Oh. Have you been to Central Park?
No, I've never been to New York.
Have you been seen pictures?
Oh,
But
it's not all that great.
the farther
Avocados?
New York?
Oh.
I thought New York was fantastic.
It was pretty great.
Oh my God.
Except for it's pretty cold.
Anyway,
Don't buy avocados in New York.
don't buy avocados in New York because they're so expensive because they had to travel a very long way to
How
get there.
expensive is it?
They're like twice or three times the price that they are
You're the best.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Mhm.
Dude, I used to...
Yeah, look it up.
You ever been to a 99-cent store?
No.
It's like this big blue
Dollar
99...
Been to the Dollar Tree.
It's, yeah, like the Dollar
You
Tree,
can get an
but it's
avocado
more of
vegan
a...
mattress for
What
$1,299.
the fuck is that?
It's a brand of mattress. It's called
Oh,
That is the
okay.
answer to how expensive is an avocado.
It's in New York.
Emily, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
12
Try
reached
again.
12 reached as high as $60 per carton for size 32. I don't know what that means.
Uh-oh.
Waist?
32
32 waist for your
in
bed.
circumference. In
Girth.
Wait, is it an avocado-shaped bed?
32
No,
centimeters
this is for avocados.
in girth.
this is for the real, not
Actual
Oh.
avocados.
Anyway, you can get a bushel of them at the 99-cent store for $1 in Southern California. It was great. I get that, some frozen veggies, go home, have a picnic with some rice.
Nice.
And come up here, they're like $6 for those big-ass chas. You're telling me they're 10 times more?
They're very,
Twice more?
very
It's
expensive
$4.
in
Where? New York?
New York.
Uh,
It's $4.
What are you guys on about?
this article is called Holy Guacamole.
Very credible.
It's NPR. Avocados are pricey and it's the pits.
Oh,
Um,
the pits that are pricey? I just want the flesh.
last year I was in New York and I saw avocados being sold in the Lower East Side for $4 per avocado.
Oh,
Okay,
lordy.
there we go. Twice the price is here.
So anyway, how do you
may
pick an
continue.
avocado?
Just if it squishes, it's ripe.
It's just not too squishy.
Is that the same for mangoes?
Yes.
The
That
color
was
has
my whole
nothing
point.
to do with it. I've learned from the internet. The color has nothing to do with it. With a mango being ripe.
Really?
Yes.
God damn it. All right, well, I'm learning now.
smell
You're supposed to
Do you
smell
know
it?
how to pick a ripe watermelon?
No.
You can.
I don't know.
Melons?
You can observe the color of the watermelon
When
in order
do
to
I-
pick a ripe watermelon.
When do I shake a baby?
What?
Sorry, I'm a melon.
I don't know I don't know of any
When
melons
does
to
swishing?
You
When is
don't.
swishing good?
shake. Maybe with a cantaloupe.
You don't shake
cantaloupe.
melons. You
Because
don't do it.
if it's ripe enough, the
Like
seeds could be
babies,
loose.
You don't shake
You
them.
don't shake them.
Nah,
I always learned to pick a ripe watermelon. I would assume this would be applicable to all other melons, but that there's like those scratch marks on them. It's actually from bees trying to
What?
get into the fruit because it's so sweet.
Is that them from flying into it, or
Like their horn.
they're attracted to the watermelon because of its sweet scent, which is how you pick out like cantaloupe and honeydew. If you smell and pineapple, you smell the butt and it smells good. It's a good one. So
In a good way.
it's a good one.
that's right
So-
for everything? You smell
Exactly.
the butt, and
You
it's
smell the butt. Isn't that right?
Sue.
Suki.
She is just staring out the window longingly.
You guys,
Poor
you guys
girl.
can top. You guys can keep talking about butts. That's cool. But the watermelon produces a sweet scent that the bees are attracted to. They're the hornets or wasps or whatever, and then they come up to it and they're trying to get to the meat. They're trying to get to the sweet meat, and in doing that, they are digging at the skin and trying to get to that sweet meat. So the watermelon then fills that scratch that they've made with a scar. Another way to find a ripe watermelon is if you look at it and you see the general like green stripy, of a watermelon.
Mm-hmm.
If you turn the watermelon over, you look on all sides and you see a spot that goes from green to yellow to white. That is where the watermelon was sitting on the ground and where it became just
A watermelon.
ever so soft enough to push in on itself and kind of almost deteriorate from the ground because it was ripe enough, sweet enough. That's what happens, is that yellow
that's a good
white
sign.
spot. That's a good sign, yes.
So
what you want.
back to the
Do you have
the
to knock on it?
bees.
You don't have to, no. That does reinforce that it is ripe if you knock on it and it's a hollow sound because there's more juice in there because it's sweeter.
Ah.
Yes.
So I want to go back to the bees because I'm terrified now. So,
They don't
Would-
get inside of the melons.
but would you
What if they
say
did?
melon skin
But you
is
don't sniff the
pretty?
bottom of the watermelon.
It's sturdier than our skin, right?
Yes.
Potentially.
Have you ever
I would
had a
say-
watermelon before?
Have you cut into a watermelon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever cut into yourself? Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
While shaving.
Sorry.
No. So, do you
I know about all
believe
things cutting.
that bees could potentially scratch into our skin?
Oh, but why?
A diabetic, his blood is too sweet. I don't know. They smell.
There are just so many better options for me.
Yeah. Bro, it's all good, bro. Don't worry, it's all good.
Should
we write a horror novel
Where bees
Where
are
the-
scratching,
where-
not stinging.
Be-
where
Because-
candy is in such abundance in the
No.
whole world?
Because of America's addiction to sugar.
Is that a
The
thing?
bees. Do you know what the obesity rates are at?
No, I don't look at these
high.
numbers.
They're in very bad places. But yes, because of America's addiction to sugar, it's just because they just eat more.
We
and
could
more
make
and
it
more,
a PSA.
and people become just sweeter and sweeter.
39.8%
What?
of
Obesity.
adults aged 20 and over with obesity.
Yeah.
What about younger?
No one cares.
Is there way more?
No one cares about the fat
Adolescents
kids.
are actually pretty
They can bounce back.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
or they're just scarred for the rest of their lives.
Oh my god.
So,
Let's go back to
How do you cut a mango?
oh my god. I almost forgot about the mango. Okay, so the mango's in 3 pieces, right?
And it's
Mangoes?
ripe.
Are not avocados.
And it is ripe, and mangoes are not avocados.
or watermelon.
This is true. Okay, so the mango's in 3 pieces. The middle piece, including the pit, and the 2 outer pieces that are just flesh and skin. And they are in a very shallow bowl form, if you will. The skin forming the outside of the bowl. You take the knife, you hold the bowl in your hand, and you take the knife and you lightly cut through the flesh. You put just enough pressure to cut through the flesh, but not the skin. And
through the yellow, not the green.
Yes, exactly.
Or red.
And then you
or
cut
whatever color the mango happens to be.
Maroon.
you cut that in a grid, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you cut it one way
Checkerboard?
and then spin it 90. Yes, checkerboard. And then you fold it inside out. And they come out in little cubes. And they're just little and you eat them and they're delicious.
That's also how you can cut an avocado. Like once you take the bit out and you do it like that, and then
But
you do it like that.
Flip it inside out.
But I don't.
Yeah.
Can you flip it like an avocado inside out?
Huh.
I've never done that
You just
before.
take a
It will
spoon
look
and
like this.
churn it.
There's a picture on Amazon
Salt, pepper.
of that
some cayenne.
mango thing. You can some avocados.
Some
These were the
cayenne.
ingredients
It'll
to create
break
the perfect little girl.
The perfect guacamole.
Or if it's not ripe enough, but if it's like kind of that perfect avocado, it'll do that same thing where the skin will peel over, and then you can have those little bits, and then all you do is take, a spoon or a knife or whatever,
And thwap on a plate.
Your story aligns with what the internet says to do to cut a mango. So congratulations.
I know, Emily.
Emily,
I know.
you rose your hand like a half hour ago with a question. Do you still remember?
Really?
Hold on, I'm not done with the mango.
Go ahead.
The middle piece of the mango.
Oh, the
middle.
the
You've
bone?
forgotten. You've forgotten about the pit and the other flesh surrounding that pit. So what you can do is there's just this ring.
Just put the
just
whole
gnaw.
thing,
There's
in
this-
your mouth.
There's this ring of skin that you just kind of cut out the outside, and then you're just left with meat and pit, and then you just kind of sit there and just
Suck at it.
and let it just suck at it and just let it growl down your chin and
roll down your
just drip down your chin, and life is good. I recommend doing that in the shower. I love eating fruits. I love.
asked me this the other day.
I love.
We had a pear in the fridge. And he goes, hand me that pear. I'm going to eat it. That nice, cold, juicy pear in the hot, warm shower.
Yes.
And I'm like, why? You've never eaten cold fruit in a hot shower? Well, sorry, only cold showers for me. But no, what? They don't eat
Never done that.
fruit
Never.
in the shower.
Oh my god.
Is it more
Peaches,
efficient? I don't know.
peaches, pears. It's just so. Have you ever had a beer in the shower?
No.
Oh.
Not that I can
Shower,
remember.
My
shower.
If I'm having
God.
beer and I'm in the shower, I should probably stop drinking.
Beer.
I'm already
You-
having a really
you
bad
have
time,
a-
and I'm
you
on
have
my
a
10th
point.
beer, so.
You got it.
Because
Okay.
I'm there to throw up. I'm just wash it off while I'm here, you know.
Why am I so sad?
6 birds, one shower.
What is your favorite fruit? Is it an avocado?
No.
No.
Oh my god, have I ever given this thought?
We're
Hey,
waiting.
everyone.
Radio silence.
Nectarine, I think.
Nectarine.
Yeah. I enjoy nectarines and plums.
Get a nice.
You're just gonna tell me
Right.
to take a shower with one.
Yes, I
Yeah,
am.
it's like,
I'm gonna tell you to get a nice.
You pick the fruit you're most intimate
nice,
with, and you
ripe, juicy.
you turn that shower head on.
How you expose yourself to the fruit eating shower experience.
Yes, and
Shower eating fruit.
a shower eating fruit. This fruit just ate my shower.
Tiles included.
I have no shower. The plumbing and everything is still there, and it's still spraying. I have no shower. But yes, and refrigerate it. Make sure it's nice and cold.
What about a fruit salad? Like the kind you get from those guys with the rainbow umbrellas.
No, it's just not the same. Because it's like a whole. It's just like
You have to pick one,
It's a
and you have to
whole-
commit.
no. Yeah, that too. But it's just like a whole raw fruit that is
In your
from
soapy
the
hands.
earth. from your soapy hand. And you're just biting into it, and it's dripping down your chin, and you're like, oh no, I've made a mess. I'm in the shower. I can just rinse it all off. And then, once you're done.
Oh no, I'm sticky. It's okay. I'm in the shower.
Exactly. Once you're done.
So you sit down.
Once you're done.
Why are you so weird?
Once you're done, and you have the core or the pit of whatever you've eaten, just throw it in the toilet. Flush the toilet. It's
I
done.
don't think you should do that.
Yeah, I don't think you should do that.
You know what?
You gotta stop.
Do you?
That's compostable.
Do you? Or you could walk out of the shower sopping wet and dribble across the entire house and put it.
Yeah, just put it on the counter.
Or the edge of the tub.
Yeah.
All right, fine. You guys
Or
can
Throw it on the ground.
bottom of
Whatever.
it.
You're in the
Stop it
shower.
out the
and-
Whatever. You guys can make your life difficult. See how I care. See, here's the
Throw it
thing.
in the toilet.
Do you-
piss on it and you're done? After you've had your way with it in the shower.
Down the
After you
drain.
put your mouth all over it, just throw it in the toilet and piss on it.
No, what he really does is he scrubs it clean and he saves it as his fruit shower eating
Trophies.
Actually,
trophy collection.
no.
Yes.
Recently, I've been eating pears in the shower,
You
and
dip 'em
pears,
in laminate. Sorry, go ahead.
pears are very, very soft, right? They don't have much of a core.
They-
They don't have much of a seed. They don't have much of an inner. So what you could do, literally, I get done with the pear, and I've sucked like most of the meat off of it, right? And I just take it and like in between my palms and just basically just pulverize it. It's soft enough, and I just rinse it down the drain.
Lick it out of your hands more.
Maybe. No, I don't.
Maybe rub it.
Rub it all over my body.
all over your chesticles. So, do you let the water hit the fruit?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta rinse it off. You gotta give it a nice rinse before you make sure it's clean of all them waxes and junk that they put on at the grocery store.
All right, I'm on board. I'm gonna try this. I don't know if I'll pulverize it into the drain. You know?
Don't try and do that with a peat
Don't
pit.
feel
All right.
pressure.
God. I don't think anyone will be watching.
Emily, I'm taking a shower. Don't come in.
I've got an apricot. It's nothing weird, I swear.
This all sounds completely normal.
Yeah, it's very sane. So that's new. I didn't know about shower eating. Well, shower eating, yeah.
Shower eating.
Do you
fruit.
only do fruit?
The occasional
I've done the beer.
so-
Yes, then the occasional beer. But that's not as much as the fruit.
What else did I want to talk about
Oh my gosh!
besides fruit and
So,
shower?
I
gluten-free, dairy-free. Somehow
Oh.
we were talking about that earlier.
Oh, are you still fasting?
yes, I just do my absolute best to not eat, and I'm very good at not eating until 11 o'clock. But sometimes I'm just not as good at not eating after 6, 7 o'clock.
That's the whole point.
I know.
Oh my god. So
I know.
there's an app called Zero. What do you use it?
Does it exist?
Yes.
It's Zero.
It's Zero. The icon is orange. It's like an orange sunrise or something. Sorry. I just apologize to the mic.
He didn't mean it.
And it just tracks when you just track when you stop eating, and then it starts counting down, and then it lets you know you can eat again. And you can like set the parameters like I want to
Okay.
do an 16 hour
Gotcha.
fast or whatever. And it's good. It like just keeps track of all of it, and it helped me when I was doing it. Since the pandemic, I haven't been keeping any sort of discipline. I've had so many cookies.
You also
A boat of ice cream.
You're also no larger than when I last saw you.
I'm still eating potatoes.
You're very slim boy, Gerardo.
I'm still disappearing. She gets mad at me.
I am mad. I'm actively mad.
I'm still mad.
Because we eat the same things and he is disappearing and I'm expanding.
I think it's like a trade.
Yeah, he's giving it. He's giving his pounds.
It has to survive somewhere.
The law of equivalent exchange.
Fair.
Equivalent exchange.
We're watching Full Metal Alchemist.
Which one, Brotherhood or not?
Brotherhood?
I haven't seen that one. We
were
finished
told
the
to
other one.
watch that if we're gonna start watching it, that's the one to watch because it's closest to the.
It
books.
follows the manga closely.
Yeah.
But I also heard that the mangas don't make any goddamn sense, really. The other one's more structural. I did some reading because I was like, okay, we watched this one, but the other one's available. And the not Brotherhood one is more like story and movie structured. So everything has an arc and like everything introduced is used in the end. The other one, a bunch of shit's just going on, and sure, the animation is more fluid and the fight scenes are way more engaging because they came out later. I still want to watch it. And it's also much longer. But there's like 2 movies after the other one related to the not Brotherhood.
The missing parts.
Gotcha.
The prologue. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I liked it.
We like it so far. We only have one part left, I guess. One season left.
Stephanie is watching Black Clover as well.
What's
I don't
that?
know if that is another anime.
Kind of annoying.
It's kind of the worst.
It's good, and like I like the story and I like the world, so to speak. But there is like okay all the time.
What is
Yes, sir.
What is that called when there's
Screaming.
that over? God damn it! When there's
Am I
the where there's the overly exaggerated things in anime,
Like it gets away from the normal art and it goes into more of like I say it's like the cartoon of the cartoon.
Right, the portrayal of a concept or an emotion.
Like when Edward gets angry about being called short.
Exactly.
And then,
Yes.
And then
Yes.
it's just like no detail and
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Caricatures.
Didn't I swear you said a word for it the other day?
Kawaii, but that's
Kawaii?
That's like
Chibi?
that's at the end of like Hunter x Hunter, or like at the end of Black Clover. They have the clover clips, like and where it's just like the big head and like again very little detail, and they're like
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay.
But that's I've known that to be kawaii.
Have you ever seen the video? Look it up, of somebody spanking Jello.
No,
It's amazing. I'm gonna find this for you.
Is it a Jello rabbit?
It's like a Jello pig. Whoops, I didn't.
God.
Does it
Jello.
like put to like flamenco music?
but
I don't
the
think
word
so.
cute has been like evolved from like just again from describing something.
Yes. Yes.
Not seen this.
Come over here. Take a look at this and tell me what you see. I'm gonna turn it down a little.
What?
Yeah. It's like a cartoon pig made out of Jello, and someone is spanking it with their spoon.
Oh my god.
Yes. You've never seen this? I've seen it. Emily, do you remember this?
Oh god, yeah.
I saw the first one I saw was a rabbit. It's like a row of 3 rabbits, and it's like doom doo doom bap doom doom bap doom, and the very last one bap 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 bap.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and then the word the Japanese kawaii came up in my research as like
The sound you make when you find
yeah, it's like it's more of an the word is more of an expression than it is like a description. Like something like we say, you know, the dog is cute. We wouldn't say the dog is kawaii. You wouldn't say that.
You would just say quiet.
No.
Okay.
You would think it.
It's more like it.
You would feel it. You would
Like it
emanate
is that, but you don't necessarily use it as a describing word.
You want to read some?
But yeah, Emily would have to do some
Emily work.
some Emily work on what that word actually means and what it translates to.
I don't want to look up kawaii on my computer, you know?
I don't want to be that girl.
I don't want to be listed right
I
now.
don't want Google to think I'm a weeaboo.
I wonder if there's kawaii like Godzilla. Oh my god.
No, it probably is.
That's something I want to talk to you about. I've been wanting to for so goddamn long.
Oh my god.
So
Goddamn Godzilla.
God.
goddamn Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Damn. God damn it. So last week, recently, I watched King Kong versus Godzilla. It's a great movie.
Yes.
I don't remember what year it came out in. It's super campy. It's the giant suits and they're fighting and it's great and the people matter. And it reminded me that one of the last things you and I did in person was go to the theater to watch Godzilla King of Monsters for free.
And it was terrible.
It was. And I remember having a lot to say and you didn't. What happened? So I would like to know, what do you remember about Godzilla King of Monsters, the American movie?
I remember that
the girl from Stranger Things is in it,
girl from
and there's
Stranger
this whole family that
so
wasn't
it's,
in the first movie. It was a goddamn mess. That's all I remember.
And so is Heisenberg. Heisenberg's in it too.
Say what?
Heisenberg's in it too.
No, he's in the first one.
Oh.
So
okay.
there's two versions of the American Godzilla that's come out recently. So there was the Godzilla remake, I think it was 2010? No. And then there was Shin Godzilla, and then there was this most recent one, Godzilla King of Monsters.
Okay.
And Eisenberg,
Weinzenberg.
he's not in it.
No, he's not. You're right.
It's like this completely different family, and like the people in these.
I remember you being so distraught over this movie. And I was like,
all these movies are trying to take themselves so seriously.
Yeah.
And the people in them suck. And like the woman that like released the monsters tries to redeem herself at the end, but at that point, like I hate her enough to where it doesn't matter. It's like, just let her die. What do I care? She's going to drive a truck in there. Why is everyone stopping her? And
it's not about the people. It's about the giant monster.
They tried to make it about the people. And you should care about them. Because apparently in the first one, Godzilla only killed one person as it was stomping over San Francisco, and it was this woman's son. And because of that, this movie happened. I don't know.
Honestly, I watched it to watch monsters fight. And that's why I went. I was like, you know what? I don't care about any of this bullshit. I just want to watch some fucking CGI monsters rip at each other's throats. And I had fun doing that. And then Gerardo saw that too, and he was like, yeah, that was good. But the people that tried so hard to do the thing, and it was lame, and I hated it. And I was like, bro, I didn't even worry about that.
It took 30 minutes to see a goddamn monster. You had me sit there eating candy-coated popcorn for 30 minutes before I got to see anything.
Did you pay for any of that?
No, I guess not. I wouldn't.
I got us both free tickets and got some popcorn and shared it with you. And you're like, this blows.
It did. It fucking sucked.
It did.
You should watch Shin Godzilla.
Okay. I'll redeem myself
like
that lady
Park.
at the end of Godzilla. See, that's why I watched
Like Transformers, Pacific Rim.
That's why I watch Transformers.
Nothing
That's
else.
the only reason I watch Transformers is to
Don't
watch
worry.
giant
CGI.
robots, CGI
Yeah.
robots fight. That's the
Why
only
can't it just
reason.
be a supercut of that?
I mean, you see some cleavage here and there, and that's a bonus. But like, I just want to see the big robots fight. That's what I want to
Transformers.
see.
You guys were talking about Jurassic Park?
Jurassic World.
Mm.
That was like the one CGI movie that like big monsters killing, fighting each other that I really actually enjoyed. And like
What about Thor
partly
Ragnarok?
because of the like the CGI monster stuff, because normally I'm not about that. But also I did enjoy the story too.
Where the babysitter gets the most
I can't get past the babysitter. Why did they kill her like that?
She gets tossed around for
She
so
didn't
long.
do anything. The fucking evil guy got killed like so fast, and they just drew out her death like she was the devil that deserved to be eaten by like 10 dinosaurs at once.
Like, zoop. Like each
She
one
got,
grabbed
like,
a limb.
tossed around, and then that happened.
Oh, God.
Like, I don't know, maybe something happened with this actress outside of the movie that they're like, okay, well, we'll make a stance on that by killing her very gruesomely, because they did that in Picard.
Does anyone like Julie? No, me neither.
No?
Okay,
Right.
hey, FX team.
She reads the script and then you die. Okay, cool. She watches the movie. It's like,
That's how you
This is what happened post production. Oh my god.
so you guys want to read some misconnections?
Yeah. I think it's about that time.
About that time, right? So we have hit a gold mine.
Oh my goodness.
There are over 1,700 misconnections in the best of misconnections.
Oh.
Emily
It's a lot
has
to go through.
gone ahead and picked
11.
1,100 for us to read today from the best ofs. So I'm gonna hand this over to you, Murphy.
Oh, I get to start.
This one is titled Osteologist Near Clark Park.
Osteologist looking for love.
No, that's
No.
not the title.
Well,
You just
that's
read
what
the
I want the title to be.
What is an osteologist?
Something to do with bones, I
Something to do with osteoporosis. That's all I can think of.
Oh.
Something you get from pills.
The study of the structure and function of the skeleton and bony structures.
And
That is separate from the
Bony
skeleton, apparently.
Oh boy.
oh, just like other bone structures. Like it can be a dog or a
Cartilage.
Fuzzy on the screen. Okay. Best of Craigslist. Osteologist near Clark Park. Pfft. Real original name for a park. Clark Park.
Come on.
Osteologist near Clark Park. W4W. You are studying osteology, but I think not in Philly. You and your girlfriend admired the plastic dog skeleton on my porch, and you thought it was extremely amusing that its scapulae were on backwards. We tried unsuccessfully to repair it. If that's not enough for you to know I'm talking about you, then you will also remember that you identified a mysterious skull I found in the ocean.
Oh my god.
I forget now what kind of fish it's from. So please tell me again what it is, though this is not why I am trying to find you. You may recall I mentioned a dead groundhog I buried last summer that I was hoping to put its skeleton together somehow, and I believe you two wanted to help. I think I might see if it's sufficiently decomposed now to do this project. If you're still interested, please get in touch. Just to be clear, this is a platonic request for help to reassemble the skeleton of a dead groundhog.
Why did your voice get more and more creepy?
I don't know.
He read the situation and adapted.
It wasn't until
Very quickly.
it wasn't until I read at the end that the relationship and the request was purely platonic. I would
Strictly professional.
if I would have known that, I would have had a different tone of voice.
Thank you for pausing before revealing that it was a fish skull.
You should animate these.
Skull.
I want to try.
Ooh.
You could come up with just like some really funny like shorts, like no, just music, no.
No voice, just like
no
a,
voices.
just like a.
Or maybe it's like if it's voices, it's like.
Or it's him reading that.
Yeah, it's just this voiceover from this
Oh.
Or it
recording.
could be just the whole voice. Yeah. But like it'd just be funny to come up with a story or scenario just based off of what's given.
Oh yeah, that was the original idea with this whole thing.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, she's like, I keep writing these and I want to draw them, and I was like, oh, we should animate them. But then it was just a lot easier to
But then it didn't.
read them. Speaking of drawing or animating the things we talked about or talk about, I finally
Space Moose.
no. Oh god,
It's just gonna be a running joke.
God, Space Moose.
The Midnight Gospel.
Oh,
I finally watched it. Jesus Christ, my mic is just falling apart.
Really
Hang on.
embarrassing.
You good? Good.
The Midnight Gospel. It's on Netflix, right?
It's on Netflix.
Yes.
I finally watched it, and it's exactly that. It is a podcast that has been animated with the same animation style as like Adventure Time, but with a lot more textures going into it.
A lot more trippy.
More gruesome,
Yeah.
more psychedelic sort
If
of
you are
scenarios.
high at the time, you would freak out
Yeah,
watching
so
it.
it's this guy living
Or
in
just
this
have a great
trailer that goes to different worlds, and he interviews different people. But every time he goes to a different world or stimulation, he's in a different body, just to be around in that world. And there was one where he's a pigeon just impaled on this like cow's antler,
Oh.
and he's interviewing the cow. And he's like, so how's it going? And they like talk about God, and then it's a little preachy, but like it's cool because there's this like natural rhythm in their conversation, and because of that, it's easy to like listen to and have it on the background. And the animation is kind of a distraction, so they try to put together
Oh.
a story with it in the show. So I'm not sure how they did it, if they recorded the podcast first and then came in later and added lines to help it fit the scenarios that they're in, but I don't know, it's worth watching.
okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, I've seen it flash by on the Netflix home screen a couple times.
The animation alone is like great to like gawk at, and then the podcast is good to listen to. It's Duncan Trussell talking about trips and his meeting God and all that.
Perfect.
And everything being wow, that's wonderful.
Wow.
This next misconnection is
Oh, yes.
titled the letter U. U was the ultrasound tech at Bronson Cox Hospital.
Bronson Cox.
There's a lot to unpack there.
There's a lot more to unpack later.
Oh my
no.
God.
Emily knows.
You're gonna have to explain why you picked this after, but maybe we'll catch up on
You'll
it.
get
We'll
it.
pick up what you put down. You was the ultrasound tech at Bronson Cox Hospital. It was Thursday night. I had a UTI, and you was like Hermione from Harry Potter with your ultrasound wand and cast a spell on me. I was there with my boyfriend, but would leave him for you because you know how to work it, girl. If you want to go get McDonald's sometime, hit me up. Tell me how big the cyst on my ovary was so I know it's you. What the fuck? Oh my god.
Do people actually reply to this?
I don't know.
Not this one.
I hope so.
Me too.
Tell me how big the cyst in your ovary was.
How do you even describe that?
How do you go about, like, if I am somebody who had a misconnection, I'm trying to, like, find this person, and I'm writing something
You're trying to
them.
describe somebody's ovary, the cyst in their ovary, and
Not
You don't
this
know where,
particular
so you-
scenario.
okay.
I just mean in general. Like, if I am trying to reach out to a person who I have no idea who they are, like, then as that other person, like, how do they... So,
how do they find this?
yeah.
You hope they're reading
You
Misconnections.
write these on Craigslist, and in the pious hope that hopefully not...
Because if there's,
A
like,
bunch of
thousands
friends will
and
read 'em
thousands
later.
of them, right?
Yeah, you put them by region, and I don't know. I don't think anyone really thinks there will be a response. You just get it out of your head, and it's cathartic, and you type it, and you ooze all over the keyboard. And maybe you get an email that's like, yeah, it was about 10 inches wide. And then,
10 and a half if I'm being precise.
and then someone's like, that's the guy, or that's the girl. I gotta respond. And then, boom, love at first cyst.
Oh. Gross. There's a subreddit. Maybe you just mentioned, like, get it all off your chest, whatever. There's a subreddit called Today I Fucked Up. And we might need to start pulling from those. I totally forgot about that subreddit, but it's like, today I fucked up by like eating too much guacamole, you know? And then, like, the story is like, yeah, I was at a party and, like, this guacamole was so good and I just kept eating it, and, like, I didn't realize how much I'd eaten. And then eventually, like, it was like the Super Bowl, and we were like, yeah, and then, like, we got up all really fast and we, like, started cheering, and in the middle of my cheering, I didn't realize how sick I was, and then I blah, you know, all over the living room or whatever, and they're usually pretty good stories.
Yeah.
So
I've subscribed. I remember one. This is the only one that can.
You've been, you know.
There was a guy that said, today I fucked up by having coffee before running. And this guy, like, jogs regularly in the mornings, and usually he'll have his coffee when he gets back. But he did this before, and as we all know, coffee's a diuretic.
Oh,
so halfway through his jog, he just has, like, shit trickling down the back of his leg trying to get home. And when he gets home, the doors are locked, and he has to crawl in through the bathroom window and then just, like, lay in the bathtub because he can't make it. Yeah, like,
oh no,
this is as far as I get.
That's terrible.
Why didn't he just, like, go find somewhere in back alley or?
I guess he was close enough to home, but didn't expect the door to be locked. And then just persistence, and you gotta keep moving at that point once you're prairie dogging.
Yeah.
Oh,
Condoms and bread. Woman for man. Hi. You left your 36 value pack of condoms and your organic multigrain whole wheat bread at my farmer's market table this past Saturday. Is that January 14th? 1/14?
Yeah.
Wow. You included the receipt for the condoms, which both shocked and delighted me. I really had no idea condoms were this expensive. Shocked because although these look like really good ones, they set you back almost $40. Delighted because if no one claims them, I'm exchanging them for 4 tubes of Maybelline Great Lash Mascaras, a true classic, and some sunscreen. I didn't see you, nor did any of my employees, but I imagine you to be male, born in the 90s or 2000s, optimistic yet cautious, health conscious yet carb loving. Maybe a long distance runner. Would make sense in the stamina department as well. Or maybe you are in a band. I asked around, but no one was admitting anything to me. I learned that people don't appreciate being asked if they misplace their condoms, and I was just trying to help and bust your balls, but only a tiny bit. I just feel like if I ever spent $40 on condoms, never, and $6 on a loaf of bread, always, and then lost them while buying a $7 juice, I'd be so mad. So let me know if these are yours. I'll bring them this weekend to the market.
I hope it was an intercom announcement.
Would the owner of a bag of bread and condoms please report to the juice box stand? I bet he had a hell of a date planned. A bag of bread and some condoms.
Your dick pic cured my breast cancer.
What?
This one's my favorite.
Oh boy. You didn't save it for last?
Originally posted in 2016. Woman for man. Hair on here.
Dookie.
I met you in the cafeteria about a week ago at the University of Chicago Medical Center. We struck up a conversation about chemotherapy and insurance premiums. You spoke of your ailment, of having Crohn's disease, and I spoke of my battle with breast cancer. You were slightly taller than me and had a sleeve arm tattoo, which I admitted liking. While we were talking, I began to tear up while informing you that my prognosis was elevated to stage 3 and that stage 4 means terminal. You were very attentive and held my hand as I explained my fears about it. As the conversation moved towards the weather and where we each respectively parked, you advised me to park in a different garage, one that I wasn't aware of, that was closer. Here, give me your number, you said to me. I'll text you with what it looks like. Without hesitation, I did, and really only with the expectation that I wouldn't have to walk so far. It's not good to be on chemo and walking in the hot weather. As we parted ways and left for the day, I got home and assumed you forgot to text me. However, as I set my phone down and on my counter, suddenly it vibrated to an unknown number's text.
Dick pic.
When I opened up the text in my condo, which had dim lighting at the time, I saw a beautiful rod appear on my phone's screen. The glow shined on my face and penetrated my spirit. I really felt it change me. Even though you had not shared your name previously, I knew the dong I was viewing had belonged to you, because I had recognized your hand holding up the miniature Coca-Cola bottle next to your penis. Stripping down from my clothes, I was elated to see 4 more pictures arrive as I began to do what any woman would do and self-enjoy them. Following the pictures...
I thought her breast cancer was cured.
Following the pictures, you also texted me the following lines over the duration of the next hour, but I was busy in the bathtub violently masturbating.
Violently.
The following are the text messages.
Oops, sorry. Oops, sorry.
Hey, you there? Yo, what up? Did you like? Hey, want more? Hey, it's me. How are you? After finishing up my gratuitous session of various climaxes to the sound of a saxophone in the background, I decided to light a cigarette and write about the occurrence in my diary while contemplating how I would respond to your communique.
I don't know.
Admittedly, I had also taken a deluxe gigantic shit, known in medicine as a DGS, while I was writing and my phone fell into the toilet.
Oh.
The next day, I took it to Apple, and they refused to touch it and said it was impossible to access your number. And unfortunately, by the time I got a new phone with my same number, your text had stopped. Frowny face. I was preparing to get over you. It was just yesterday that I came to the hospital for another round of chemo. Still very sad of our saga had come to an end because of my phone falling into the toilet bowl filled with my poop and pee. That's when my doctor came in shortly after drawing up my blood and feeling my titties. Catching me completely.
I can't handle this post.
I can't even finish reading.
Catching me completely by surprise. But with what he told me next. You don't have breast cancer anymore. You are cured. Please see Sheila at the desk who can validate your parking call if you have a headache. Grabbing his arm as he began to walk out the room, I just had to be sure. What did you say? Your breast cancer is totally cured. Judging by the tests we have done with our fancy medical equipment and group of Asian people in the labs who were looking at tubes and stuff, we can find no more blast cells in your boobies. You don't have breast cancer anymore. You are now perfectly healthy. That's impossible. I was stage 3 last week, I told him. The only thing that changed was the man sent me a series of dick pics to my phone. Oh. It was here my doctor put his hand on my shoulder and gave it to me straight. That was not a man. That was an angel, my lady. And oftentimes God sends angels to do that because he knows what makes us happy. At this very moment, another doctor chimed in from the background. Hi! I'm a professional doctor of cancer too, and he's right. You see, your phone gives off a tiny amount of radiation. When you glanced at those pictures, they, in a sense, delivered a lethal dose of it into your cancer and killed it completely, forever. The pictures of a penis provided the exact amount of radiation needed due to the peach hue emitted by the phone screen. What's more, since we at the hospital note that we can't take credit for curing you, we are destroying all of your existing medical debt. Please see Sheila at the desk, who can validate your parking, and call if you have a headache. As I left the hospital and cried tears of joy all the way to my car, abruptly those tears became tears of sorrow and loss when I reached the parking garage, because it reminded me of you. Plus, I forgot to see Sheila at the desk, who apparently was able to validate my parking. I still have not heard from you, and I do hope you get my message, because I owe you my life. Please write me here, or text me if you still have my number. You are my hero and guardian angel. I love you. Sincerely, Diane. Oh my god, I am crying.
Oh, that's so made up.
Booby blasting cells.
I am a professional medical doctor who also knows cancer.
Like, that seems like it's straight out of an anime.
That's beautiful.
My understanding here
What kind of
is that this
animes are
woman-
you watching, Steph?
I think that she genuinely received
Fan.
these dick pics, and I think that she's just indulging what that man clearly assumed would happen if he sent a series of unasked for dick pics to
I
a cancer
agree.
patient.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That does make
That's
sense.
great, Emily.
That is great, Emily. Honestly, yes.
The pink hue from the phone radiates into your blood.
The pink hue.
You held up a Coke can.
It was a miniature Coke can.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That is forever.
You like? Hey,
You like?
what's up?
If you don't want to go to a polar opposite, totally sincere one next, you could skip to the next one and then come back to this one.
All
Or
right.
just
I'm gonna skip to the. God damn it. Jesus
they're both
Christ.
very long.
What could have been Kevin if you weren't a douchebag?
Oh. What'd you call me? Lordy. What could have been Kevin? What could have been Kevin? Oh, what could have been Kevin?
What could have been
I think
Kevin?
what could have been Kevin.
What could have been Kevin? What could have been Kevin if you weren't a douchebag? W for M. Best of Craigslist. Me. Classically beautiful near-runway model with the grace of a dancer and the laugh of a fairy, who inadvertently left her iPhone in the back seat of an Uber while in a sushi hurry. You. Untraditionally handsome, bespectacled, sharp-nosed man who found my iPhone in the back of Uber 2 minutes later on your way home. Your name is Kevin. Me. A desperately hopeful optimist, confused at why you would answer my misplaced iPhone and give me your address as we made arrangements for me to pick it up in 5 minutes, only for you to not answer your door and abruptly stop answering my calls and texts. It was only 9 p.m. after all. Checked Find My iPhone. You were an honest soul who was there where you said you were. Maybe you just abruptly fell asleep. You. Are you high right now, Kevin? Because that could explain a lot. No judging here. I hope you enjoyed your night and that you didn't have any valuable personal belongings in your Uber. Me. Up half the night worrying that I was missing calls regarding both of my grandmothers in the hospital and my children spending the weekend with their dads 700 miles away. Also, I have another 2 years left to pay off that iPhone, so please, 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 please answer your phone in the morning. You. Smoother than Don Draper, you invite me to your flat for the iPhone exchange. You seem concerned about my grandmas and recognize that a unique position you're in to come to my aid. Like a venture capitalist in the final hour, you swoop in and restore my confidence that I can still FaceTime with my parents and my children and in the nick of time. You're my hero today, Kevin. Kevin, 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 Kevin.
You need to change your accent now to British because they refer to their apartment as a flat.
$25 per Uber trip. Surge pricing. I made to get to your flat. Remember last night? No, Kevin, you don't, because if you hadn't passed out, you would have answered your door when I knocked 5 minutes after we spoke on the phone. That was one $25 Uber trip. This is the second $25 Uber trip. You, dark hair, disheveled, your wrinkled undershirt, and nearly threadbare pink boxer shorts are both endearing and a confirmation that you were so high last night. Good on you, Kevin. Virtual fist bumps and stuff. But mostly, I can't wait to see if my kids texted me with last night's bedtime good night or a hello this morning. It's totally cool that you didn't plug my phone in so that I would have a full battery all day. Thanks, that's asking a lot, even from me. For the charity 5K walk and goat festival. Hashtag Goatchella. I told you I'd be at all day. I'm just incredibly relieved to have my iPhone back in my hands that I could almost kiss you, Kevin. Mwah! Me. After trying to mobile power charge my iPhone for the 2 hours after you so blessedly handed it back to me, I'm realizing there may be a problem. Actually, 2 problems. 1, Grandma had a stroke. I found out the next day because 2, my iPhone doesn't seem to be working at all whatsoever. Actually, 3 problems. 3, the inside of my iPhone case is full of water. This is unexpected, given that SF, San Francisco, has had no measurable rain in 1xx days, and my tears were only flowing into my cleavage, not into my iPhone, which was not on my person anyway. You. I have no idea what's wrong with your phone. It was in my pocket the whole night. My iPhone is just fine. Are you sure it wasn't full of water when you left it in the Uber? Oh, Kevin, in Hayes Valley, who gave me your real phone number and address, which I still have, I think we can guess what happened here. Why didn't you answer your door the first time, back on Friday night? We could have been soulmates for all you know. I've helped others get their iPhones back too. I feel like I get you. You're a good person, a good man. You could use some new boxer shorts, which don't scream, I'm ready to meet my Tinder match, though. Did all the alerts from Bart's Twitter account, 10-minute delay at Dally due to equip prob, disrupt your evening? Or did my 7-year-old's good night mom text harshier mellow? What exactly was the trigger? Because the trigger which caused you or someone within arm's reach of a stranger's purple encased iPhone to dunk it in a bucket of water? Believe it or not, I like to think you dropped it in the toilet bowl full of your piss. Because if you're going to purposely fuck someone over, at least make sure their clueless hands smell like ammonia. My working theory is that you used my iPhone to take dick pics until you realized my phone is locked and you couldn't delete them. Sadly, I am probably the most compassionate and understanding person ever, and if you would have explained a little, I could have entered my passcode and then and there and stood there while you deleted your dozens of bad decisions. Believe me, man, I've made bad decisions too. I'd pay it forward if given the chance. If only. Do you even realize that I had a period tracker app on there and now have no idea when to expect my period? Maybe I'm just PMSing. Does it sound like I'm PMSing? All the women I know think that it's very helpful for a man to suggest that maybe she's just PMSing. With bated breath, I waited for your assessment. Now? What about now? Maybe now. Probably now. Fingers crossed. On a more serious note, I still had some photos of my kids' Make-A-Wish experience on that phone that I hadn't
Holy shit.
that I hadn't then backed up yet that I hadn't them backed up is yet my fault. Whatever. That they are forever lost, I blame that on both of us. So really, Kevin, thank you for teaching me a valuable lesson in data storage and douchebaggery. Suddenly, your shabby chic boxer shorts and concerned nodding as you handed me my lost iPhone aren't as endearing. I can't know for sure exactly what you did to my phone, but I know that it was perfectly dry and in great condition when I hustled all my bags and left myself out of your Uber, and then it was immediately in your possession. My phone and everything on it is ruined and gone. To replace it cost me $400 that I don't have. I'll spend the duration of my wireless contract paying off that part of my credit card bill. The good news is that now, a week later, my grandma, who had a stroke, is being discharged to rehab facility, and my other grandma is still after her double mastectomy. That's how you say that word. No, I'm not making this up. This is the kind of real-life stuff that happens after we moved beyond the whole turn 23 and spend the next 10 years getting drunk and high and moving from tech job to tech job before we finally do call Mom and she reality checks us with what we've been missing while we've been out making the world a worse place. The bad news is that your mother... The bad news is that you're a motherfucking douchebag, Kevin. I figure you already know that. But fuck you anyway. You're a punchline in my life, and your integrity and character are as rounded as a bag of dog shit. Good luck in all your douchebag endeavors. There's nowhere to go now but up. You are a douchebag. Wow, that was depressing.
Yeah, that was a fucking bummer. Oh my god.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, that's immediately where my mind
You think
went.
she
It was
likes
like,
Kevin?
Oh god, he was taking dick pics and dropped it in the toilet.
That's assuming that that's what happened. Maybe he did get really high and took a bath with it in his pocket with all of his clothes on. And
But she said it smelled like ammonia.
No, she said
it would.
she said it should.
Oh,
If
it
you're
should.
gonna deliberately fuck someone over, at least make sure their hands smell like ammonia.
Yeah. Make
So-
sure you actually piss on their phone.
Yeah.
Would you like to read one, Steph?
Sure. That's a lot of pressure.
Emily, you're familiar with these. Any recommendations?
Pick a great one for her.
I gave you an accidental back scratch.
Oh.
Okay.
It even
Back
takes
scratcher.
place in Seattle.
Huzzah. I gave you an accidental back scratch. We were strangers in the 27th row on a flight from Seattle. We didn't even exchange hellos. You seemed queasy and kept putting your head on the seat in front of you. I was high on cold medication and decided you needed a back scratch. We both realized what was happening, but it was too late. I scratched your back in an affectionate manner for at least 5 seconds and no more than 10. I patted your back awkwardly at the conclusion of my back scratch and then pretended to be asleep. If you're reading this, I'm sorry. And then there's the picture of the hand.
The hand that scratched.
The hand that didn't scratch.
If you're reading this,
The
I'm
ashamed
sorry.
hand who
The hand-
acted on its own volition
The hand
to
of
scratch
shame.
your back.
shame.
Oh, poor thing.
If you're reading this, I'm sorry.
Now the sincere one.
Do you want? I mean, it's not happy either.
It isn't. It's just a bummer
It's
trip.
not. It's not a bummer. Like it.
Is it gonna make me think?
It might. Yeah.
Most of these
If you
make
have
me
a-
think.
If you have a soul and or a heart, yes.
It'll make you feel stuff.
Make you feel
Make me
stuff.
feel stuff. Make me feel stuff.
Let's feel some stuff. I met you in the rain on the last
Don't
day
make
of
me do stuff.
1972. Man for Woman, 2015, September 24th. I met you in the rain on the last day of 1972, the same day I resolved to kill myself. 1 week prior at the...
It's really
already
upbeat
fucking
voice
terrible.
for this reading.
Yeah, maybe start over.
Like a newscaster.
Yeah,
Today I thought I was going to kill myself. 1 week
it's
prior.
just in the Avatar. The Avatar's in Republic City. 1 week prior, at the behest of Richard Nixon and Henry Kissinger, I'd flown 4 B-52 sorties over Hanoi. Oh my god. All right. I'd flown 4 B-52 sorties over Hanoi. I dropped 48 bombs. How many homes I destroyed? How many lives I ended? I'll never know. But in the eyes of my superiors, I had served my country honorably, and I was thusly discharged with such distinction. And so, on the morning of that New Year's Eve, I found myself in a barren studio apartment on Beacon and Hereford, with a fifth of Tennessee rye and the pang of shame permeating the recesses of my soul. When the bottle was empty, I made for the door and vowed, upon returning, that I would retrieve the Smith & Wesson Model 15 from the closet and give myself the discharge I deserved. I walked for hours. I looped around the Fenway before snacking back past Symphony Hall and up to Trinity Church. Then I roamed through the Common, scaled the hill with its golden dome, and meandered into the charming labyrinth divided by Hanover Street. By the time I reached the waterfront, a charcoal sky had opened, and a drizzle became a shower. That shower soon gave way to a deluge. Gave way to a deluge. While the other pedestrians darted for awnings and lobbies, I trudged in the rain. I suppose I thought, or rather hoped, that it might wash away the patina of guilt that had coagulated around my heart. It didn't, of course. So I started back to the apartment. And then I saw you. You'd taken shelter under the balcony of the old state house. You were wearing a teal ball gown, which appeared to me both regal and pretty ridiculous. Your brown hair was matted to the right side of your face, and a galaxy of freckles dusted your shoulders. I'd never seen anything so beautiful. When I joined you under the balcony, you looked at me with your big green eyes, and I could tell that you'd been crying. I asked if you were okay. You said you'd been better. I asked if you'd like to have a cup of coffee. You said only if I would join you. Before I could smile, you snatched my hand and led me on a dash through downtown crossings and into Neisner's. We sat at the counter of the 5 and Dime and talked like old friends. We laughed as easily as we lamented, and you confessed over pecan pie that you were engaged to a man you didn't love. A banker for some line of Boston nobility. A cabot, or maybe a Shafi. Either way, his parents were hosting a soiree to ring in the new year, hence the dress. For my part, I shared more of myself than I could have imagined possible at that time. I didn't mention Vietnam, but I got the sense that you could see there was a war waging inside me. Still, your eyes offered no pity, and I loved you for it. After an hour or so, I excused myself to use the restroom. I remember consulting my reflection in the mirror, wondering if I should kiss you, if I should tell you what I'd done from the cockpit of that bomber a week before, if I should return to the Smith & Wesson that waited for me. I decided ultimately that I was unworthy of the resuscitation that this stranger in the teal ball gown had given me, and to turn my back on such sweet serendipity would be the real disgrace. On the way back to the counter, my heart thumped in my chest like an angry judge's gavel, and our future, flickered in my mind. But when I reached for the stools, you were gone. No phone number, no note, nothing. As strangely as our union had began, so too had it ended. I was devastated. I went back to Neisner's every day for a year, but I never saw you again. Ironically, the torture of your abandonment seemed to swallow my self-loathing, and the prospect of suicide was suddenly less appealing than the prospect of discovering what had happened in that restaurant. The truth is, I never really stopped wondering. I'm an old man now, and only recently did I recount this story to someone for the first time, a friend from the VFW. He suggested I look for you on Facebook. I told him I didn't know anything about Facebook, and all I knew about you was your first name and that you had lived in Boston once. And even if by some miracle I happened upon your profile, I'm not sure I would recognize you. Time is cruel that way. This same friend had a particular sentimental daughter. She's the one who led me here to Craigslist and these missed connections. But as I cast this virtual coin into the wishing well of the cosmos, it occurs to me, after a million what-ifs and a lifetime of lost sleep, that our connection wasn't missed at all. You see, in these intervening 42 years, I've lived a good life. I've loved a good woman, I've raised a good man, and I've seen the world. And I've forgiven myself, and you were the source of all of it. You breathe your spirit into my lungs one rainy afternoon, and you can't possibly imagine my gratitude. I've had hard days too. My wife passed 4 years ago, my son the year after, and I cried a lot. Sometimes from the loneliness. Sometimes I don't know why. Sometimes I can still smell the smoke over Hanoi. And then a few dozen times a year, I'll receive a gift. The sky will glower, and the clouds will hide the sun, and the rain will begin to fall. And I'll remember. So, wherever you've been, wherever you are, and wherever you're going, know this. You're with me still.
So sweet.
Damn.
The feels.
This is luckily on the best of Craigslist, so the chances of someone saying this is very likely, and I hope that is very sincere. Thanks, Emily. No, that was nice.
I remember you saying at one point that you regret there are no more sincere, actual, genuine missed connections, and I thought this fit that bill, so...
The guy who chased Purse Snatcher.
Wow. The Puss Snatcher.
The puss snatcher.
That better be the voice.
Hi. I hope you get this. Just after I was totally convinced there are a few men left in this world, here I finally see one take action on his own hand. Oh, this is a woman.
Oh, keep going. That's fine. Keep going.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Just make it a little more feminine.
I won't let you. I liked it a lot, and I was incredibly hot. I was the girl in the corporate skirt, a skirt that was rather high, waiting at a bus stop and periodically checking my phone. I had seen you earlier walking around, and truth be told, I didn't give you much thought. But I don't read into that. I have the Red Storm in towns this week, and my job has been stressing me out a bit. As I waited, I suddenly saw a man run up to an older woman sitting nearby, doing a ninja-like cartwheel and then grab her purse. She screamed, and this was when you took note. You were walking right past me at this point and threw your coffee at the ground and tossed me your messenger bag. Not again, you said. Not in my house. Nuh-uh. No way. Following this decree, you then ran after the man, and I yelled at him to stop. Stop, asshole, right now! Stop! And surprisingly, he did. Although I had a black mask on, he turned around and I could tell he stared at you. He stared you down. And lo and behold, he then started running towards you and yelling incoherently. You had paused by this point and remained in place, doing a few shadow kicks and punches to dissuade him as much as you could. And finally, the moment I was waiting for, the conclusion...
I need to scroll.
Finally, the moment I was waiting for, the conclusion. With him running toward you, you maneuvered yourself to execute a roundhouse kick, which if executed perfectly, would have kicked his head off completely. Trust me, I am from Cleveland, and that's how it works. Why is this so bad? As the moment of impact neared, I was hoping you would try to kick his head toward me, and then use that as an opening for asking my number. So I kept close watch, believe you me. Suck on this, criminal! Suck on this, criminal, you said when twisting and readying your body to take him out, but unfortunately, your foot hit a parking meter. But unfortunately, your foot hit a parking meter, and he was able to just beat the shit out of you. Since he had the upper hand on the first move, he literally just kicked your ass and took your wallet, and for some reason, took your pants off as a form of psychological punishment. You laid there in just a white button-down and underpants and cried until the police showed up and put a blanket on you and gave you tea. But I think that's cool that you at least tried to do something. And for that, you get a date with me. My name's Tiffany, and I have a cat, some ambiguous student loan debt, and I drive a Kia. Let's get some sushi and talk about society together. Hope to hear from you, Tiff. P.S. To make sure it's you, tell me where this went down. Be specific. Stop, asshole, right now! Suck on this, criminal!
With the guy's coming back at him, he's like, picturing him just like...
Oh no! What is the shadow punches?
Yeah. Like that would deter him. Like, oh no, I better not go towards that guy. Imagine Sokka.
Where are they? Oh, here we go.
You had paused by this point and remained in place, doing a few shadow kicks and punches to dissuade him as much as you could.
We gotta save that one. I gotta.
Naked dumpster diver.
Gross.
It was a magical experience if ever I've had it. Walking up and down the back alleys looking for something, anything, to make me feel alive. And I noticed some old thrown out adult DVD covers in the dumpster of a local store. I couldn't believe my luck, but knew that with the clothes on my back being my only possessions in the world, that I couldn't risk soiling them.
No DVD player to watch them.
I removed my exterior garments and jumped into the metal bin to begin digging for treasures of a masturbatory nature.
Oh my god.
That's when I stood up and saw you there holding your trash bag.
Oh, shit.
It was obvious that you weren't expecting me, as you took out the daily trash from your work. You were standing there looking perplexed yet intrigued. And there I was, wearing nothing but sneakers, standing in your dumpster holding placards of all the dirtiest new adult DVD releases. Oh, it was a sight to behold. Your eyes met mine, and there was an awkward silence before you turned and walked the other way. And I'm sure you felt the same thing I did.
Disgust.
You were the porn store employee wearing the yellow shirt. I believe you are the manager.
What? What?
I was, of course, the naked 30-something with the few good teeth. Please respond ASAP as my data on my Obama phone expires in 2 days.
The end.
No.
The data on my Obama phone.
Oh Oh my god.
We have 2 more.
Oh.
This one is titled "The Burrito Jesus," but from where?
But from where?
Yeah.
Oh, the burrito Jesus.
Oh, don't.
Oh, don't.
Oh, don't.
Oh, don't.
Read ahead and pick a voice. I don't know.
Okay.
I woke up with the remains of a burrito next to the sink. It was everything. It had like French fries in it and like avocado, sour cream, and probably some sprinkles of unicorn dreams. It was once crunchy and smooth and hot and cold and salty and gooey and chewy. I remember ordering the Californian from a menu with like 800 other unnecessary alternatives. I watched as it emerged into this world, one spoonful of love at a time, and then beautifully origamied by a soulful Mexican man who will be the godfather of my future son. It was, quite simply, the finest burrito I have ever had the pleasure of leaving next to my sink at 3 a.m. But from where? Sweet Mary and Joseph, I cannot remember where it came from. Please help. I was walking home from High Tops in Castro through the Mission, walking towards Soma. I was walking down a numbered street, but I don't know which one. Probably low to mid-teens. As I walked east, it was on the left-hand north side of the street. There was like a ton of tables inside a burrito assembly line. Nay, I wish granting magic factory. And lots of Mexicans, so you know that shit was tight. I've got no receipt, no signage on the bag, no memory, nothing. Let's track down this nursery of culinary magic. I need this burrito in my life every day. Did I mention it had French fries in the goddamn burrito? Where did it come from? Please help me. And then meet me there. I'm getting the Californian.
It's a fucking picture of a fucking half-eaten burrito in a sink. Fucking gross.
Sweet Mary Joseph.
He loved it so much he didn't finish it.
Sweet Mary and
We had to
Joseph.
take a picture.
I cannot remember where it came from.
Well, I assume he took the picture when he woke up.
Well, I mean, you know, if you're a kind drunk to your tomorrow self, you're like, they deserve this. There was a photo online that was like, to drunk Stephen, here is a glass of water. Please be sure to drink these charcoal pills and nap. And then in just like fucking chicken scratch, it's
my
like,
God.
fuck you tomorrow, Stephen, or sober Stephen.
Fuck you, sober Steve.
This is our last one for the evening, and the title is "Did you lose a ham?
But
Ham?
back ham.
Did you lose a ham? Perhaps a bear broke into your kitchen and stole it from the counter where it was cooling, and then discarded it because it was overly salty, or maybe, and some other what? Scenesters?
Yeah.
All right, or some other scenesters you just met were snacking on it during Moogfest, but then when you woke up Monday morning next to the trash cans in Chicken Alley, it was gone. I'm not sure of all the possible scenarios under that which someone might lose a ham. It's in the worst shape than it was. It's in worse shape than it was when I saw it last night. Perhaps due to the rain or random vagrant gnawing on it. The brown fat on the outside isn't so deliciously crispy looking this morning. It's a bone-in ham. Not sure it's obvious from the photo, and it's been eaten on some, but there's definitely some serious meat left on it. Looks like it was pretty tasty at its day. Anyway, it's laying on the mulch in between the Civic Center and the sidewalk. I'm sure you'll be relieved to know where it is. And there is a photo of this ham. I've cried a lot. Cried a lot this session.
A lot of tears.
It's gonna be some weird dreams. I
cannot.
internalize everything.
I cannot wait to have burrito dreams.
I really want a burrito with French fries now.
Oh my god.
Well, this has been fun, guys.
More like IKEA.
Thanks for coming by again.
Yes, absolutely.
It's been a good while. This is fun. I
Yes.
forgot how much fun recording is.
So did I. But I knew we should do it again for some reason.
It's like just talking.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's just
Especially
fucking,
when we just jump into it as soon as you guys get here. It's like, come on.
absolutely. Hurry up, get the mics turned on. I got so much to talk about. Did I ever tell you about the time? I'm just kidding.
Well, that's
The
our
time
show.
I left.
That's all.
Bye.